Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name's Cassie. I talk about video games, do video game reviews, unboxings, and all sorts of stuff video game related, and sometimes other things as well. Today I'm going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct that was this past Thursday and what my thoughts and my highlights are for that Direct. And a few other things to talk about as well. But first I want to talk about Game Club. Uh, Game Club is a group on Facebook that I help run. It is basically a book club, but for video games. We just had a voting thread for our October game of the month. This game we will be playing as a group, and the wheel spun and it landed on Detroit Become Human. I've already played this game, so I ran a poll on Twitter and trying to figure out which of our previously played games I will play instead. Because we do give options for when you play through a game and you complete it and you share your screen or you share your platinum or a video review you will get extra points or one-ups, they're called. And those can be used as extra votes for when we have the voting threads up. So there's a lot of games that I have not played that we've played before in the group. Either I skipped out on them or it was after I had joined already. So I put a list. There was quite a few of them, and I think there were four that I chose to put on the poll, and it landed on Celeste, so that's the game I'm going to be playing instead. Detroit Become Human is a great game though, so if you have not played that and you want to check our group out, be sure to check out the link that I have in the description below and play along with us. Get your one-ups and let's have fun too. There's also like if you play the game within that month that it's being played. Now this excludes admins, but anybody else, you get entered into a drawing at the end of the year for like a $25 gift card of your choice, like Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation or Steam. So, but we do also have our Game of the Quarter. So Game of the Quarter is a 3-month long game that we play together. And that's for our longer games because game of the month is limited to 20 hours, so it cannot be any longer than that. And it can only be up to $20 in price. Whereas the Game of the Quarter, it needs to be over 20 hours long, so we have a chance to play some longer games. And it can go all the way up to $50. Now we do include like Game Pass, Nintendo Switch Online, and PlayStation Plus is included in those prices. So if they're on there, then they qualify. And everybody gets 2 votes per voting thread. You just have to make sure that they are within the rules, which some people read and some people don't, so please read through them because they're there for a reason. But yeah, go ahead and vote on that because that wheel will be spun in the morning, pretty early in the morning. I usually do it around 8 a.m. And then that will be our October through December game. So I'm excited to see what it lands on. There's quite a few votes on there right now. And check out our group. It's really fun. There's a lot of games that I have discovered through that group that I don't think I would have played otherwise. So check it out. Now on to the Nintendo Direct. There were a lot of games that were announced. There were, I'm not going to go over every single game that was announced. So I'm just going to go over the ones that I felt needed highlighted. First game, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Now, I'm not going to be buying this on Switch. I do have it pre-ordered for PlayStation 5. But I did play this game at PAX West when I was there a couple of weeks ago in Seattle, and it is very smooth. I did play the Switch version with a Switch Pro controller. It plays very smooth. The graphics are really beautiful. It is not the traditional Prince of Persia type gameplay. It is actually more like a Metroidvania. So if you're into those types of games, you definitely should check it out. I personally have not played much of Prince of Persia. I did play the 360 version when that came out, a little bit of it. And I've seen gameplay of others, but I have not really fully played through a Prince of Persia game before. So, and I honestly have not played any Metroidvanias before, but I did enjoy what I played, and I'm looking forward to it. The next game that I was interested in was Horizon Chase 2. Now, I've heard a lot about Horizon Chase Turbo when that released. It is an arcade racer, which I played a lot of back in the day. I did play a lot of Cruisin' World. There were, on 64, there were tons of arcade racing games, some of the best ones actually. And I really enjoyed those types of racers. I don't play a lot of racers, but it's not that I don't like them. It's just there's so many different genres of games. Ones that I'm like more into, I guess. But growing up, racing was one of the most played genres for me. So I might actually check this out. It did launch on Thursday, so it came out as soon as it was announced. So I may check that out. I definitely want to check out the first one too at some point. The next thing was Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. This is kind of like a rhythm game mixed with maybe like RPG elements, fantasy. It looked kind of interesting. I'm somebody who does really like rhythm games. I liked Child of Eden. I liked, which is an underrated gem, I think, on the 360. I also really liked Hi-Fi Rush, and I did. I played a lot of Guitar Hero and Rock Band and all that. So, also shout out to what's that name? Never mind, I can't think of the name of it, but the one that inspired Guitar Hero, basically. It's like slipping my mind right now. It was on PS2, but yeah, it looks really cool. I will say that I'm definitely more excited for Rift of the Necrodancer, which is a fantastic game from what I played at PAX, and that is a rhythm-based game that will be on Switch as well. And then we got Super Mario RPG. Now, I grew up with the 64. I did not start with Super Nintendo because it took a while for me to convince my parents that I needed or wanted or could have a console, so they weren't too convinced on it. They were like, I don't think you need this, which I didn't, but I did. Oh well. So I mostly played Super Nintendo at my friends' houses, and usually when I played, it wasn't anything that was like an RPG. It was other games like brawlers and stuff, platformers. So I didn't really touch Super Mario RPG until I got the Super Nintendo Mini when that came out, and I played just a little bit of it. I didn't play much, but I do like turn-based, and I honestly like RPGs. I was introduced to those with Final Fantasy X, so I didn't play a lot of the older pixelated games on PlayStation or on Super Nintendo or wherever else they were. I started more with the 3D RPGs, but this is remade and it looks beautiful and it looks like it's going to be really smooth, so I'm excited to play that. I definitely need to get a pre-order in on that one. Next one was Another Code Recollection, whatever. This one looks like a puzzle narrative type game. I'm not really sure. It was originally on the 3DS, and I guess the sequel was only released in Japan previously, so they are doing both the first game and the second game, kind of like a remastered version coming to the Switch. I was not a big fan of handhelds, so I didn't play a lot of games on the 3DS or the DS or wherever it was. But my friends do say that like they think I would like this, so I will check it out. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remaster. Tomb Raider is one of the games that I actually did play when I played PlayStation 1. I did not have a PlayStation growing up. I had a PS2, but I don't know if I actually realized as a kid that you could play PlayStation on PlayStation 2 until I was a little bit older. And by that time I was on to other things. So yeah, I don't know. But we used to have an after school program, and this was like right after the PlayStation released. I was like in 5th grade or something. It was like a year or two after. But they had a certain amount of kids would be able to, like, you could kind of like choose what you wanted to do for the day, but you could only do like certain activities once a week or something. And one of those activities was playing on PlayStation. And they had a demo disc. It had Tomb Raider, it had Cool Borders, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, a few other games as well, and I think maybe Tony Hawk. And I played Tomb Raider, and I really liked it. And then I remember, I think I rented Tomb Raider on PC, because back then you could rent PC games. I used to go to Schnucks is where I would rent those, because I don't think you could rent PC at Blockbuster. Could be wrong. But yeah, and I really liked Tomb Raider. But going back and revisiting those recently, they're really hard to play through. The polygons are unattractive, and the controls are not great. So hopefully this remaster is enhanced enough to where it's more enjoyable to replay through. Next one, I don't think I will play it, but this was hilarious. Trombone Champ. I was laughing through the entire preview of this game. It just looked really funny. And then we had War Tales, which kind of looked almost like a Diablo type game. I'm not really sure, but it looked interesting. And then we had Contra, Operation Galuga. I don't know. I, again, did not play a lot of Super Nintendo, but when I got the Super Nintendo Mini, I did play quite a bit of Contra, and I like it a lot, even though it's very difficult. But I will probably check that out. And then we had Unicorn Overlord. The name is really weird, but this is, I think it's Atlas that's doing this. Kind of looks similar in ways to like Octopath, maybe, in the way, like, gameplay wise and graphics wise. I can't remember. I got this one mixed up with a few others. I think like Aiden Chronicles or whatever. I can't remember if this one was a tactic or not. But it looked interesting from what I remember. I wrote it down, so yeah. I'm going to check that one out. Next one was Luigi's Mansion 2. Again, like, I did not play a lot of handhelds, but I did love the first Luigi's Mansion on GameCube. I played through that, I think, several times, actually, as a kid. And I never got around to the sequel. I did play a little bit of 3, but not much of it, so I'm excited to revisit that. And then we had F-Zero 99, which I still have not downloaded yet, but I plan on doing. This is basically just like an enhanced version of the original F-Zero on Super Nintendo, which I have played. So it's very fast-paced. F-Zero is super fast-paced racing around a course. And with this, just like Tetris 99, you have 98 other players playing against you. And with F-Zero, if you run into too many obstacles or your opponents too many times, you will crash and die permanently, basically. And so it's basically left to the last one standing. So it seems pretty cool. And I think this, I know a lot of people were hoping for like a remake of one of the older games, or maybe even like a brand new F-Zero game, because we've not had one in a long time. But I think this is a good way to gather how many people are actually interested into F-Zero. So I think the more people that play this, the better chance we have of getting a new F-Zero game. Eastward Octopia. I have not played Eastward yet, but it's been like on my to play list for a while since it came out, and it looks really cool. And Octopia looks like it's a DLC for it, and it adds like farming and like simulator sort of thing. So it looks really cool, and I'm gonna have to check that out. Next one is like one of my most hyped games that I've been wanting to play, but I don't have a good enough computer to really play any games. So Dave the Diver is finally coming to Switch, and this is a like kind of like a random like dungeon crawler, but underwater is what I get from it. And you like, I guess you can go fishing or whatever, and I'm not really exactly sure how it works. It's just, I know that like the items that you collect you can use towards your restaurant, and you basically are running like a sushi restaurant as well as like doing dungeon crawling and stuff. So it's just like, it seems really, really cool, and a lot of people praise it as being like one of the best indie games of the year. And this year has been crazy with indies and like and AAA titles as well. I've personally enjoyed a lot more indies or like non-AAA this year than I have the AAA, to be quite honest. But I'm excited to finally play it. It's going to be coming to Switch, I think in October. Could be wrong. But and then we had Mario Kart 8 DLC. I've not played a lot of Mario Kart 8 recently, and I haven't really played any of the DLC, but they announced Diddy Kong, and that took me back because Diddy Kong Racing is my favorite racing game of all time besides Need for Speed Underground 2. And I wish we could just get, a Diddy Kong Racing game, but I guess, this'll do. And then we finally got Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake or remaster. And I did play a lot of that game on GameCube. I don't think I ever actually owned it, but I rented it a lot. And I'm really excited for that. I haven't played any of the other Paper Mario games, but that one I did play. And it's a great game. I do like the fact that we're getting more GameCube remasters. I'm sad that we didn't get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, but that's fine. This will satisfy me for now. And then State of Play, they didn't really show much. They had 2 DLCs. They had one for Tales of Arise, which I have not played yet. I do have it. And then Resident Evil 4 Remake, they have a DLC for that as well. I've not played the remake yet either, and I do have it as well. But there's just been so much this year that it's crazy and hard to like keep up with everything. I have played, the original Resident Evil 4, though. I played that on GameCube a lot. And then we got more content for Spider-Man 2. And I'm really excited for it. I don't know that we need to be shown any more of it because it's just like, everybody's already sold on it, and the more you show, the more you're gonna spoil, because I don't think it's gonna be like that incredibly long. So, and then we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as well. This is the second part to Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I have not finished Remake yet. I got like 30 something hours in and stopped for some reason. I don't remember what was going on at that time. So I'm gonna have to revisit it. I'm probably gonna have to start over, to be quite honest, because I'm not gonna know where I was or what was going on really. So yeah, the state of play was kind of not great. I did really enjoy the Nintendo Direct, but hopefully the Game Awards, we get a whole bunch of stuff, because I think Game Awards, honestly, like lately has had more reveals than anything else. So we'll see. Jeff usually kills it, so. And what I'm playing this week. So I started Liza P yesterday, and I decided I'm probably gonna just have to set that down because there's too many other things I'm playing right now, and that's gonna take a lot of my time because it's gonna be a lot of time and starting over and everything. So right now I'm playing Children of Morta, which is our current game of the month for September, and I'm really enjoying that. It's a roguelite. I'm also playing Sea of Stars, which is an indie title that just released last month and the end of last month. And it's great. It's an RPG, and it's a beautiful game. And then I'm also playing Starfield. And I think I'm going to maybe pick up Oxenfree, because I try to do like a short game per week, and Oxenfree I think is only like 4 hours long, and I haven't played it before, so I know a lot of people praise that game, so that's going to be my next one. I did play through Greece on Sunday. That was beautiful. It was a really, really nice game. Definitely check that out if you haven't. It's on Game Pass now, so that's all I've got for this video. So if you liked that, go ahead and like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out Game Club at the bottom in the description below. And I'll see you guys later.